Hello team, so today I want to talk about Amazon FBA versus Shopify. Now Amazon FBA is a platform that I've done millions of dollars on. I've launched multiple brands, 100 products plus. So I have a lot of experience with Amazon FBA. I obviously run an advertising agency on Amazon FBA as well, and I've been in the game for 8 years. Now me alongside my business partner Daniel at Into Profits, we're looking into Shopify for the last 6 months. We launched on Shopify. We've had varying degrees of success. So I've sold probably over $1,000 worth of product on Shopify, but more recently, thanks to Daniel actually in this case, I've started to do it profitably. So we've made multiple sales, or we've made 10 plus sales this week, and these are coming in profitable now. So we're able to move the ads up. I've launched Google ads. I've also launched meta testing as well. So I have a degree of success with Shopify so far, and it's starting to look very positive as conversion rates for the store are going up, conversion rates for the ads are going up, but I will get into that in just a little bit now in a moment. Daniel has had more success on Shopify than me, but I'm still very content with our trajectory because I know what it takes to make an e-commerce brand succeed. So without further ado, let's get into it and let's have a look at Amazon FBA versus Shopify, and there's a few categories we're going to look at. I want to talk about setup or startup and the resources. Startup resource number one. I want to talk about operations. So how to operate it. I want to talk about advertising because they're both very different. And ultimately advertising is how we get visibility. We need products, we need visibility, we need conversion rate. That's what we need, advertising, name it again. Number 4, long-term. Okay, let's just get rid of that. Long-term prospects. Okay, so I hope this is going to cover us for a pretty awesome video. Let's have a look. And also get us an understanding of which platform we should start with, which platform should we look at depending on what level we're at in business. So startup resources. So Amazon as a startup is easier. There's just no doubt about that. The reason it's easier is because we already have millions of eyeballs on the platform already. We don't need to drive that much of the traffic. We just need to get our product set up. Now, we do need to run ads, but there is a degree of organic sales. It might be 50, 60% organic sales. So Amazon is easier. There's just no doubt. And why is that? Because we got traffic. Already, Amazon's very trusted. The listings are like fixed. So that's easier too because it's just a matter of filling out the components and leveraging and maximizing the components. Traffic, listings, so easier. Shopify just takes more. So I've had a team help me do this with the setup because it's basically starting a website from scratch. So it just takes more. So it can take a little bit longer too to set up Shopify. It can also just take more in terms of planning and branding, etc. So it takes more. However, you do have more flexibility. So there is a benefit to this. Flexibility. Now, you should do this yourself. It's a little bit different for me. I've already drove millions of dollars online. So for me to get in and do it myself, which I have started doing little bits, to really get an understanding. Obviously, when I started with Amazon FBA, I learned everything myself. I didn't have a team, I didn't have anyone. I think this is the best approach, even with Shopify, because the more you can get in there and understand how things work, not only will you set yourself up for success initially, but you will also then be able to hire and get other people in. So it takes more. It just simply takes more. Product pages, home pages, about, FAQs, all this stuff. Amazon is easier as far as startup, easier if you're a new entrepreneur. It's just going to make things easier. Now, operations. So I just spoke about, why is this not doing that? I just spoke about how Shopify, we've got a lot more setup. So it's a lot more setups. What do I mean by that? I mean integrations. So we would have had Amazon, so we're fulfilling from Amazon, MCF. We would have had integrations with Google Shopping. So that's merchant. We would have had SEO. Got to set up SEO and optimize. We also have Facebook and Instagram set up if you're going to run meta ads. Facebook, Instagram. So this is for your stock. Just let me, stock management, integration. What else have we got here? So there's just more setup, there's more integrations, there's more to manage. Again, you've got greater flexibility, you've got greater detail here to manage your business how you want, but there's more that goes into it. Now, that means that operationally it just takes more. It's slower to move. When I want to update, so we've updated the brand for our brand on Amazon in Q1, and we updated all the images. We know exactly what's working in terms of image stacks and A+ premiums, etc. With Shopify, it's a little bit different, so much more flexibility. Oftentimes, with a lot of flexibility can lead to over-analysis as well. So it is just a more detailed platform, for better and for worse. You know, operations is easy. I mean, you can run it with like yourself for a few hours a week, maybe one VA eventually for customer service. At least at the start. So it's just more simple. You might want to have a team sooner here, but you can do it yourself. This one at scale, like at 7 figures or more, you don't really need that much to run it. It's quite easy because it is limited as a platform. Amazon controls a lot. Amazon makes things easy, makes things simple. Okay. Advertising, okay, big one, right? Advertising on Amazon FBA, you're using the Amazon SP, sponsored products, SB, sponsored brands, SDA, sponsored display ads, and DSP. Now these are all a lot more easy to manage on Amazon's platform because they're limited. You're advertising on Amazon itself. You can do a little bit more off Amazon with DSP and SDA, but by and large, traffic, sponsored products, because sponsored products adds up to organic. Now these platforms are learnable. You could learn these in barring DSP, which I don't have a great deal of experience in, but you can learn these platforms in a few weeks. You know, you really can, a few weeks. Now, when we get over to Shopify, we have got we're spoiled for choice. We've got a lot of flexibility again. So we've got Google, which is often the easiest. That's what we've started with and got profitable. Google, and then we've got our shopping. We've got search. We've got YouTube. We've got partner websites. So this is all through Google. Okay. So you're looking at that and you're thinking, that's a platform itself. That's like basically the whole of this platform in one. But then not only that, do we have Facebook or Meta, which can be great. So we've just started Meta. Hey bro, just to interrupt for 2 seconds. If you were enjoying the video, drop me a subscribe. Now back to the game. I mean, Meta's obviously a beast. I don't know what I'm even writing here, but because I don't know every detail behind Meta, but obviously the targeting is fantastic. I know that. The flexibility with content, with media, is fantastic. And it's a beast for e-commerce. It is a beast. So you've got Meta, again, it's another platform in itself. And ultimately, we're adding more. We've got TikTok, if you're able to avail of TikTok, which is starting to roll out everywhere. Again, full platform. Full platform. What is this? That's not how you type before. Full platform. We've got other areas too. I mean, there's just, it goes on. You can run a lot of different ads here on Shopify. And this is something that will take longer to learn potentially. I'd recommend sticking with one. So we've got this profitable. We're now looking at Meta, see how it goes. We have a brand that has a lot of creative assets, so I think Meta can work well. And this is where we're planning on going. I don't know if we'll get to TikTok. We'll see how successful this with these, or if it'll be another brand that we launch on there. Potentially not this one. But advertising, again, similar story, quite simple on Amazon. A lot more complicated on Shopify. It's just the way it is. Is there anything else for us advertising? Okay, long-term prospects. Now, this is where it's a little bit subjective. This is where it's interesting. But I think that one of the main things here that we need to look at is ownership. Ownership. Okay, what do I mean by ownership? Listings. Customers. Creative assets. Independence. Okay. Now, when you do it on Amazon, Amazon basically owns the show. They own the playground, they own the market, they own the customers. Customers. So this, they do, and let's be honest, they do a great job of curating this. The customers are warm, the trust is high. From an owner perspective, Amazon owns it though. You know, you can start the brand here, you can start the build of it, and you can grow 7, 8 figures, even 9 figures on Amazon. But I would assume, similar to us, at a certain level, whether at 7 figures, or if you have a brand that's possible to do earlier, you're going to want to be looking at Shopify, because Shopify allows, again, it might not even do like majority of the sales. It might do 10%, 20%, 30% of the sales. But the upside of capturing a lot of this stuff, the upside of developing I wrote customers twice, of developing the customers via like customer emails. Okay. We've got retargeting. Obviously you've got pixels on your retargeting, which is big, because if you're looking to sell your brand one day, the multiples are going to be a lot higher if you own the email list, you own your customers, you own the retargeting, and you have proven creatives that work. Let's say that might be Black Friday, it might be Christmas, creative assets that work. So these all add to your multiples. The multiples on Amazon are a lot lower now. You might get 2x, depending on the brand. The smaller the brand, the lower the multiple. You might get 2x on discretionary earnings. Now, if you have a bigger brand that's on Shopify as well, you might get 3, 4, 5x. It really depends though. Is the product replenishable? What's the lifetime value, etc. But there's no doubt, you own a lot of this stuff, you're going to get a better ROI. You're going to get a better multiple on your company. You're going to get a higher valuation. That is for sure. A couple of things I want to add to this that I've had in retrospect. Now, if we're looking at the operations of both of these, Amazon is strict. What does that mean? It means that if you've got like F&B, if you've got supplements, if you've got any product, in fact, not just these ones that need FDA approval, there's always a chance of getting suspended. There's always a chance of you getting your listing removed. So you need to do things right. Now, I can say that in 8 years that we have had that happen once maybe, and it's gotten back up and running within a few days. So by no means does this mean it's a clear cut, you're going to get suspended or anything. It's not the case. But you don't get that. Shopify, you just don't get it. Restrictions are less. Okay. Now I want to talk about what's been working for us, and that is going to be here. It's going to be Google, okay? Now, the buyer intent on these platforms can be very different. On Amazon, people are searching for the product. The audience is warm. People are writing in fucking whiteboard, scrubber, or I don't know what you would call this, wiper. They're typing in whiteboard marker. The buyer intent is high, they're already warm, they're already problem aware, they're already searching for your product. Now, that applies for a lot of Amazon ads because you're advertising on keywords. You know, you're advertising on keywords. You can do some related stuff, but people are by and large are going onto Amazon. They know they want to make a purchase and they're searching for it and that. If they're on Google, if they're on Meta, if they're on TikTok, they're not necessarily committed to making a purchase when they're on these platforms. You know, some will be. So Google, what we found is the lowest hanging fruit is Google Shopping. And ultimately with Google Shopping, we want to tap into some of the same audience that is purchasing on Amazon already. So we want to tap into the top search terms where the buyer intent is high. They're already searching for the product name and the buyer intent is high, so they're going to make a purchase. Now the difference between this versus where the buyer intent is not high is crazy. So if we look at Google on the top terms, say let's say on Amazon, and replicating that on Google, the conversion rates are like 5, 7, 8% for the top terms. But for those that are not relevant, it's just like there's no conversions, you know. And with Google Shopping, you have to target everything at once and then put negatives in place. On Amazon, generally you will put in search terms that you think will do well. There is auto campaigns as well, but Google Shopping, it's all about negatives. So we've negative probably 95% of the terms that have come up, and that has left the top terms, the most relevant terms, and that has then turned us profitable on those terms and makes us feel good about now the future prospects for the brand. But this is all with Google Shopping. So these ones may work well. We're testing it out, we'll see. But Google Shopping, that's what's worked so far, and we're starting to see some good conversion rates there. And it's also bringing the store conversion rate up because we're negativing all the bad stuff. So this is what's working. Overall, summary, because we definitely need a summary on this. I'm gonna get a sword back down here. Summary. Okay, summary is that they can both make you rich. So it's just, yes, this is for both. It's not a question. Now, if you want to launch a brand, everything works on Amazon because they're a big retailer. So every product works because ultimately everyone needs the products. So this is a little bit different on Shopify. Shopify is a lot about brands. It's a lot about building out real memorable brands, taglines, cohesive branding, cohesive messaging across. And then you want to bring people from unaware, they might not even be aware of your product, they might not be aware of the problem, all the way to problem aware, and then you're product aware. So there's a journey there on Shopify. So if you were new to e-commerce, what's going to be easier? Amazon, there's no doubt about that. Amazon can make you very rich, Shopify can make you rich. However, if you were looking at multi-channel later, if you've got a brand, and not every brand will be able to do this, but if you've got a brand that works off of Amazon as well as on Amazon, I would recommend obviously getting Shopify going, because the upside, if it works, is going to be a higher multiple. It's going to be owning the customer emails, owning the retargeting, owning the creative assets. It's going to be building these campaigns out that are going to work throughout the year, and there's going to be less competition because, quite frankly, it's more tricky, it's more difficult. But as with everything good in life, oftentimes the hardship places a barrier, and that's why it's a big opportunity. So I would think both are fantastic. You want to make a lot of money, but if you want every product to work as well as brands, you're going to go Amazon. And then here we're going to go brand D2C. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. Drop me a comment below if you've got any questions, if you've got any thoughts on this, and I would love to hear them and hear what your experience is. If you like the video, drop a subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.